the biggest plays of the game, he's out on the outside with Eric Berry on him. And where I give Rob Gronkowski so much credit as far as sports character is he wanted more money this offseason. They didn't give him any of it. What they did was they gave him reachable incentives in his contract. He didn't reach any of them.
Not one.
And he didn't let that lessen his want to or his effort blocking at all. There's no incentive he's going to reach because of his blocking, but his blocking is what eliminated the great Chargers pass rush in that divisional round game. Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, it appeared they didn't show up. Gronk had such an impact on that game. This year, Gronk, the first healthy year of his career that he has not been a red zone threat at all. He's always had at least 8 red zone touchdowns every year he's played at least half the games. This year he had 1. But he was still their most dominant end-of-the-line blocker as they transition to a running team. That is effort, and that can't feel good with all the injuries he has, with the back stuff he has, the way he plays football, and he does it every week.
Brady backs up the pass 90 times in the playoffs. Hadn't gotten sacked 1 time.
Nope.
And a lot of that is because Rob Gronkowski. They do not win the game in Kansas City. Forget the run blocking. If they don't have the variable of, man, we can move our best wide receiver from tight end outside, that's what Rob gives the Patriots.
That's what I was going to ask you. It probably also gives Tom Brady such a level of comfort at the end of games, knowing he has such a reliant receiver out there or a guy that's going to come out there and block successfully. All right, moving on. 2 days later, and we're still talking about the no call in the Saints-Rams game. The refs admitted to missing a late pass interference on Nickell Robey-Coleman. According to reports, the NFL is now discussing making pass interference reviewable in the future, while Saints owner Gail Benson says the team will aggressively pursue changes to NFL officiating. Nick, should the NFL expand instant replay to make pass interference reviewable?
Absolutely not. Because what they're talking about here is making penalties that were not called reviewable. Okay, enjoy every big touchdown, the most exciting plays in NFL games, big touchdowns late, for that to be an auto challenge. Auto challenge and hope they find something and hope by the time they come over.
All scoring plays are reviewable now, but now you're saying that they're going to.
I'm saying the coach. Right. I'm saying a coach will, because what they're reviewing scoring plays is, did he score?
Yes.
Was there a turnover? Did he have possession? I'm saying if I'm a coach and you're going to let me challenge things that are not called, I'm going to be watching all game. Oh, okay, this official's allowing some hand fighting past 5 yards. Let me put that in the old mental Rolodex, and let me see if I have a good big play go against me. I'm a challenge. Oh, it was on the other side of the field. There was illegal contact past 5 yards. Take the interception off the board. Oh, okay, I'm watching. You know what? The left guard for the New England Patriots getting hands to the face a little bit. Oh, they scored a big touchdown? Challenge. This is, people say we want it challengeable because in real time, we're like, that is an egregious, awful call.
And what Nick is basing this on is the age-old saying in the NFL, a flag can be thrown every play.
Yes. If a cop follows you long enough, he's going to find a reason to pull you over if he wants to. If you have a guy whose job...
Percentages go up if you're on this side of the table compared to that one.
That is correct. But the point is that they can... If you have a guy whose job, and a smart team would, to look for any infraction on every play, then any big play you will challenge if it's big enough. And so there is no, and by the way, Saints, like, okay, you want obvious non-calls called or obvious calls reversed. That game maybe isn't in New Orleans. That win against the Steelers in Week 16 that secured you home field advantage. I know Chris thought it was pass interference. The referees on television on the Joe Hayden play against the Steelers, they sure seem not to. I didn't. I wonder if the referees would have said, oh, you know what? That wasn't no pass interference. Sorry, New Orleans, you don't win that game. Like, it can be awful in real time when it's this bad. There is the human element. There is no thing that will definitively make it better.
We're having this conversation because it was such a blatant pass interference. And maybe if it isn't, you're right, that does happen. But realistically speaking, as someone who's sort of gone through this process of getting something changed, is this something that the NFL is going to take a serious look on, form a committee, sit down, spend weeks trying to change?
Oh, no, they're going to take a serious look at it because it altered the course of a game. And they like to think that they're trying to get it, not necessarily correct all the time, but they'd like them to be right more often than they're going to be wrong. So, yes, when you have someone as powerful as Sean Payton, his relationship with the NFL, you have the owner that's already written a letter, that's powerful in itself, that, yes, they can't just disregard it. But as far as changing the rule, I don't think they're going to be able to change the rule, because one thing about the NFL product, they like it right now. And the time for which the product is played in has a lot to do with the product's likability. And there is a window, and it's around about 2 hours and 55 minutes to 3 hours and 10 minutes. And they like an NFL game to be finished before that. And instant replay, and I don't believe they're going to make the game better. Now, I wasn't for the catch, no catch. I wasn't for changing it. But I was won over a period of time, because I've seen how it can make the game better. If they can show me over time, which they can't do right now, it would make the game better, then I would be for it. Right now, I'm against it.
And one of the reasons I wanted the catch rule changed is, as a fan watching a game, there was nothing more frustrating than thinking your guy made a great catch and then waiting for all the different angles, like, oh no, the ball moved. I know how this is going to go. Take that to every big touchdown. Every big touchdown, the pause of, wait, do I get to celebrate it as a fan, or am I waiting to see if they challenge a call that didn't happen? People can say, oh, they did this in the CFL. It works great. Well, does it? Because the 2015 Grey Cup, which is they instituted this, I think, in 2013, their version of the Super Bowl on the game-winning touchdown drive challenged a pass interference that wasn't called. They switch it to pass interference. They score the game-winning touchdown. Is that how we want these games to go? That there's hand fighting, because it's usually not that obvious. It's hand fighting down the field. Oh, maybe he grabbed him. Maybe he touched him past 5 yards. And now all of a sudden, those are going to be calls. We're going to bring the refs into it more. I don't like that idea.
So patience is your biggest issue. You want to celebrate as soon as it happens.
I just want that. I don't need more replay in sports. That's what I don't need.
Coming up, was the discord between Brady and Belichick overstated? That's ahead on First Things First.
One sport's gotten replay right. Tennis. They show us the little computer-generated image.